Dapper Don Podcast. Dapper Don Podcast. This is your boy Dapper Don Diggs.
Was MO3. MO3 is a young rapper from Dallas. He was a 28-year-old, I think it was Melvin something. He was a very harmonic rapper. He's actually had very good vocals. He really seemed like he could sing. He had a song called One of Those Days Again. That was a pretty decent record. I remember I actually came in here when I talked about Boosie and Webby beefing. And well, not necessarily beefing, but Boosie kind of taking shots at Webby. And I said that I didn't want to hear Boosie diss Webby on a collaborative album we didn't even ask for. And that was the collaborative album, the one that he did with Boosie. He also had some songs with Kevin Gates. So, man, he was definitely making his rounds in the industry. He was getting himself established as an artist, and he was taken way too soon. So, not only that's who he was shot in Dallas. He was shot on Interstate 35. He actually got out of the car and fled. We're going to explain why he actually did that. Information just came out about that, but he was shot in his hometown of Dallas. Why he was killed was still unknown. They believed that he was leaving a young lady's house where he believed he was being tailed, where he believed he was being followed. Now, I don't know why he may not have called for backup. Maybe some homies like, yo, I'm on a highway, and these dudes is trying to get off. I don't know. Knowing people, they're not going to be there right when you need them. You know, that's just how people are. So I don't know why it was, but he was killed on the highway. He was shot in the back of the head. And honestly, I don't know who it was that was the gunman. I believe they said there's an arrest. But it's been so many rappers shot. I forget which ones got arrested and which ones did not. But like I said, he died just over the weekend. It was like he was just alive, man. And of course, Baton Rouge rapper Lil Boosie had a response for it. He was super surprised. You know, he was angry. He was he was Boosie being Boosie. This was the guy that we know him to be. But Boosie also had an eventful weekend. So while at the funeral, not at the funeral, but the balloon releasing, where they did this for Nipsey too. Trade the Truth did this one for Nipsey. So I guess this is a Texas thing. Or it may not be, and it may just be the only time I'm hearing about it was in Texas. But they do a balloon release where they release a bunch of balloons in the air, say rest in peace MO3, all of his fans, all his fans, all his supporters, just everybody who had love for him. And Boosie was in attendance. He even did I believe performed. But ultimately, they shot up Boosie's Sprinter van while he was at the event. I remember there's a song that Mozzie did, that a guy named Mozzie, he's a West Coast rapper. He did a song called Unethical and Deceitful. And I was just thinking about that song and how everything that he rapped about, that he dropped this song top of 2020. So he probably recorded in 2019 or earlier than that. And how everything he was talking about on that song happened. Like he said something like, wreck his load trying to blow his candle. Felt disrespected when I kicked his dead homie's candle. And I thought about MO3. When I heard about MO3, I thought about that because the reason MO3 was running down the interstate is while he was driving, trying to evade the actual shooter so they couldn't get up next to him, he wrecked his car. And instead of, I guess, like relishing in the pain of the car wreck, he just off instinct got out and started running. I mean, on one end, everybody said, oh, he should have this, he should have that. You going off of instinct. You're going off of adrenaline. And that shows a will to survive. That shows somebody who was at least thinking, well, how can I get out of this situation? All right, this is where I'm at now. Maybe the car couldn't move. Maybe he couldn't get it out of reverse. Maybe he didn't feel he had enough time. Maybe he thought if he get out on foot, if he get out on foot, maybe he can kind of like juke his way out of it or do something. But ultimately, They chased him down. He was a pretty stocky kind of guy, but he wrecked his car. That's why he was actually walking outside on the side of the road. Many people don't really know that. So before you ask why was he out the car, why did he get out, it sounds fishy. That's why. Or at least that's what's being reported right now. But yeah, I never thought I'd see the day Boosie get shot, honestly. It just seemed like he was so out the way, so grown, so past that, and he was just so loved. But all of this is kind of working against his theory of getting shot in your hometown because, well, he said killed. He did say killed. MO3 was killed in his hometown. And I believe, now this is just me, this is my speculation. I can't prove this in any form or way, but I believe the people who did that to Boosie felt like, I'm going to get him before he come to get us. I think the people who did that to him felt like this guy's going to double back for him anyway, and this may be the only time I can get to him. And I remember T Grizzly talking about that one time. You know how these young dudes think. He was saying, if I got an issue with somebody, I'm not going to spare him just because you're in the car with him. He was saying if I was talking to somebody who I'm mutually cool with, he said, I'm not going to spare you. I'm not going to spare him just because you're in the car with this guy. So that just puts you in their mindset. They believe, in being opportunists. They see the opportunity, they're going to strike. And, that's how these young dudes think. He was allegedly shot in the leg. They shot up his Sprinter van. I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know what him and MO3 was doing. MO3 was actually in the Mike Tyson video. The Mike Tyson Boosie podcast interview. He was the guy sitting right next to him. You probably didn't even peep that.